Hello everyone, welcome to Caroline's Craftery. Today we are going to make some page edges. Now, I seen a picture of this on Facebook. Sorry, I can't remember who posted the picture. But I thought, yeah, I got enough stuff I can do that. I'm using some cardstock or paper works. This is a digital. But I got a stack here of ones that I'm gonna do. Now, I'm sort of gonna mass make these and sort of not. I've got the paper cardstock already, but the rest I'm gonna do all at one time. So this piece of paper is, my ruler was buried. Now this one is 3 inches by 8.5. Now, most of the journals that I make, I like to just print on a piece of paper, fold it in half, and I can use smaller pages. And these I could trim down a little bit. So, but you can do pretty much any width, any length you want. Now, I've already measured in the middle and I've scored it. So I'm going to fold it in half. And let's just use this. I do have one of those little tools, and oops, I'm just going to ink some of this up really quick. I could have did this before. But let's just quickly, or as quick as we can. And that. Now you can use double-sided paper because you may see this. Actually, you probably won't. Let's not bother with that. You might see it, you might not see it. Okay. So I have a whole bunch of these. Now I made these years ago, and I just have edge punches. Put it on there, you can see it. And I just punched down each side, made a little strip, and then some I don't have anything on. Some had some washi tape, but the washi tape was coming off. Yeah, they're just strips, and I made lots and lots of them, and I put them away, and I kind of forgot about them. But I thought these would work great for these ones. Now I decided I'm going to make a purple one because I love purple, and I'm always looking for purple things. So let's cut this just a bit longer than what we actually need. Now what I'm doing is I want to decorate both sides of this. So then you're going to put it onto your page. Let's see here. So then you're just going to put it onto your page. It'll actually go on the end of a page. And then it's decorated. So that gives you the idea of what we're doing. So I'm going to make sure I get the right side of the lace. A lot of times it doesn't really matter, but so I think this one I'm going to, now I will try to line up the lace on the ends with something like this one here. I'm going to try putting that little piece on the end. Seems to line it up pretty good. I always like to lay my piece down first. Make sure it's going to fit. Make sure it's going to look okay. That's just something I do. Okay. That will work. Now, let's put some glue down. I'm using Art Glitter Glue. I actually find it works great on lace and whatnot. I want to make sure I get the ends good, because that's going to really glue down the end. And then I'm going to line this up relatively where I want it. And the nice thing about Art Glitter Glue is it dries so clear. So even though I can see bits and pieces of it, just trying to line this up kind of with the edge. One nice thing about the lace and the Art Glitter Glue, you do have some time to... Okay. Just pat it all down. Let's cut this off. Or you could leave them sticking up the edge, and then they'd stick up and down on the edge of your page. Now I think I want something in the middle. I have a whole bunch of laces. These laces are 3 feet or shorter. And I hang them up. I hang them up by my desk, actually. But how about... Oh yeah, that looks good. Let's... There we go. So we're actually doing this twice because we're going to decorate this side and then we're going to decorate that side. And I think that looks pretty good, those two together. So let's... Now you could do each side exactly the same. You can do each side different. Same colors but different. It's all up to you. Okay, now I've put quite a bit of lace on there, or quite a bit of glue, because I really want this to stick down good. Now I could have cut this exactly to length too, and then laid it down, but I tend to make it just a tiny little bit longer and then snip it off. Okay, so then we got this. So we're gonna press that all down really good. And again, the Art Glitter Glue is falling off. A glue gun would be good for this too. And I'm thinking that might be the way to go. We'll just press this down a little bit more. Probably when I go to do a whole bunch of these, I will plug in my glue gun just for times like this. But I think that will... Sure if these, no, those won't work. Hold on. Let's give a couple of these. And I think I can still work on the outside if these are on here. These will just hold on. Give it a chance to dry. Because it doesn't seem to be working really good. Let's put a third one in the middle. But this should help it. Okay, now let's work on this side. Now for this side, I'm thinking on this here. And then maybe some of this lined up right at the bottom. Now it's been years since I've used any of this stuff, so I'm kind of happy to be using it up on this here. And you can make these as fancy or as simple as possible, which is one thing that I like. Oh, I like that. What do you think? Let's cut this right here. Let's ink up one side of this. You don't have to ink this. I just like the definition that it gives each item. Okay. And then this, because this has a little, I don't know how, it's like a crushed velvet ribbon there or something. Let's trim that off right here. Have a little piece to use for something else. And then, okay, so I want this. I want all these little loops to stick out the end, I think. Okay, so that needs to hang over the edge just a tiny, 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 tiny bit. Let's glue this up. The only problem with these is they're not a lot of fun to glue down. But as long as there's a little bit of glue on there, it will be okay. Oh, and I did that backwards. This is the one that'll be on the top, but that's okay. So just want to make sure there's a little bit of glue on those very tips. So then when I put it down, okay, let's line that one up. And then we need to bring this down. Because I wanted that, excuse me, wanted that right on the edge there. Okay. Give that a good patting. Oh, it should have been over just a tiny little bit, but that'll be okay. It's okay. Let's just trim that off. Okay, now let's put this. It's gonna look pretty. Okay, so if I line one up, oh, actually I can probably stretch it enough. Okay, let's try that. Let's put some glue down. I always, if the lace is solid, like that I'm not really going to see through, I'll put down a pretty good layer of glue. But if it's like really see-through-y and stuff, then I tend to be skimpy with it. I'm going to try and stretch this a bit. Guess I didn't need to stretch it as much as I did. That way I can cut it right there. Now make sure that I get it fairly even. That looks pretty, I like that. And this is gluing down good. Now ideally I would wait to trim the ends and stuff until it was dry. But for the sake of the video, let's just trim this off. So we can use that for something else. Now what I do, sometimes with this fancy lace, it really tends to fray. So I'll take my glue and I'll just run a little thread of glue up. And then I'll take my fingernail. If I can, that part doesn't always work. But just once that dries, you won't even see it. And that kind of keeps all the little things glued down. Or in place, not really glued down. I just don't want it to fray anymore. So that's just something that I do. Let's take this off. And that should hopefully be good. Now let's trim this off there. And there. You can really see where my clamps were, but that's okay because you won't really see that piece anyways. Because you're going to glue this down to a page. Now this is the type of lace this really comes in handy for. And just something like that. It's just enough to keep it all together. So I guess in reality I'm gluing the lace back together in some ways. And you see that has not glued down very well. So I will probably come back with the glue gun and make sure that that is glued down good. And then with this here again, and I'll come by and I'll snip that little bit off. But it's just enough to hold that down. So now we are pretty much finished this. So then when it's folded, and we get our page, it's going to go on like that, and then either glue it down, or you could make it into a pocket. I could trim this down a little bit if the page was a bit smaller. I might do some stitching, might not. That might be, stitching might be a good option for this here, being that it's not gluing down very good. I could sew it in such a way that you wouldn't even see it. And then, oops, and then this will be the other side, which would make a really nice little tuck spot with these little purple things going out of there. So now I'm just going to set that to let it dry. I do have a few here that I did yesterday or last evening. So there's this one here, nice tans and browns. I think that looks very pretty. And then this one has some roses. But I like that little scalloped edge. Now I could even extend that up over here on one of the sides, because when I was making it, I could just shift it over and just make sure I don't glue anything. So you know, I could have it, you know, like that, and then when you're looking at the end of your book, you could see that a little bit. I might try that with some of them. So there's that one. I made one with pinks and roses. Very pretty. And then there's that side there. Now this is one of the ones where I had glued the end. I'd glued it on this side, so you can't even really see it. And then this one here turned out pretty cool. So this one here is kind of browns and stuff as well. So there's that side there. And I really like how that decorative edge that I made. And this one here. Now this is metal. And it's made, I believe it's like the edging of like upholstery. You'd put it like over the seam, like on the back of a couch or something like that. And it comes in these great big huge long strips. And every fifth one has a hole so you could nail it down. Well, I just used brads. You can't see it because the brads are on the back of this edged piece. But I thought that turned out really, really cute. I like it. It is a little bit heavier, but it would go really good in like a steampunk journal because you could use alcohol inks and probably dye this metal. And so, you know, you could make it like look rusty or something like that. But I really like that. So far now I have 4 done. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to make probably about a dozen of them. And then we have this purple one. But I think they're pretty. So thank you to whoever posted it on Facebook. I tried to go back and find it so I could find who made it, but I couldn't find it again. Typical, you know, there's so many posts that it's hard to keep track of them all. But this one here is made out of a scrapbook paper. It's okay. It works. I wouldn't want to do like this metal on the paper or something because the paper is nice, but it is thinner. The other ones, this is a digital on a 65-pound cardstock. These two are from a scrapbook cardstock. But I'm using up scraps. I'm using up some lace, which I have tons of. And I'm using up some pieces that I've had for years and haven't been using. So it's a win-win-win situation. And I end up with a very cute thing. Purple is my favorite because I love purple. And I think, well, it's hard to pick. I love the combination of the colors of these with the off-white and kind of a browns and a little bit of gold in there. But I love this one with the metal on it. So you be the judge of which one you like and give this a try. Like I say, it's win-win-win because I'm getting to use up scraps of stuff that has been just sitting there and gathering dust. So there you go. Thanks for being here and thanks for subscribing. Ring that little bell so then you receive notification of when I post a new video. And if you want to like and share and tell your friends to come on over and watch, that would be great. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.